Russian shells pummeled the southern Ukrainian city of Kherson on Saturday, killing at least 10 people and injuring 55 in the city that Moscow's troops were forced to abandon last month. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, just back from his quick trip to Washington, posted photos of the wreckage on his social media accounts. He noted the destruction came as Ukrainians were beginning Christmas celebrations that for many Orthodox Christians will culminate in the traditional celebration.
This is not sensitive content, it's the real life of Kherson, Zelensky tweeted. The images showed cars on fire, bodies on the street and building windows blown out. Yaroslav Yanushevich, the governor of the Kherson region, said in televised remarks that the number of people killed in the latest shelling of the city has risen from 7 to 10.
He added that 55 people were wounded, 18 of them in grave condition. Yanushevich said scores of others, including a 6-year-old girl, were wounded by Russian shelling a day earlier. Saturday marks 10 months since the start of the Russian invasion. Ukraine has faced a blistering onslaught of Russian artillery fire, missiles, shelling and drone attacks since early October, much of it targeting the energy infrastructure in a bid to cut electricity and heating services as the freezing winter advances. The shelling has been especially intense in Kherson since Russian forces withdrew and Ukraine's army reclaimed the city in November. Earlier Saturday, the Donetsk regional governor, Pavlo Kyrylenko, said 2 people were killed and 5 wounded in shelling there over the past day. The deaths were in Kharahov, a town of about 20,030 kilometers, 18 miles, west of Russian-controlled Donetsk city. About 60 shells hit 3 communities during the night in the area of Nikopol, said the Dnipropetrovsk regional governor, Valentin Reznichenko. Stepny, a settlement on the outskirts of Zaporizhia, was also hit by shelling, but there were no details on casualties, according to the governor, Oleksandr Starik. Zelensky has returned to Kyiv following his trip to Washington, in which he secured another $1.8 billion military aid package. On Friday, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said the war would end at the negotiating table once the special military operation achieves Russia's goals. He said no reported Ukrainian peace plan can succeed without taking into account the realities of today that can't be ignored, a reference to Moscow's demand that Ukraine recognize Russia's sovereignty over the Crimean Peninsula, which it annexed in 2014, as well as other territorial gains. The exodus from Kherson came as Ukraine solemnly remembered a Stalin-era famine and sought to ensure that Russia's war in Ukraine doesn't deprive others worldwide of its vital food exports. A line of trucks, vans and cars, some towing trailers or ferrying out pets and other belongings, stretched a kilometer or more on the outskirts of the city of Kherson. Days of intensive shelling by Russian forces prompted a bittersweet exodus. Many civilians were happy that their city had been won back, but lamented that they couldn't stay. "It is sad that we are leaving our home," said Yevhen Yankov, as a van he was in inched forward. "Now we are free, but we have to leave, because there is shelling, and there are dead among the population." Russia has ratcheted up its attacks on critical infrastructure after suffering battlefield setbacks. A prominent Russian nationalist said Saturday the Russian military doesn't have enough doctors,